Guys, remember, those that are speaking against you are the ones you put in power. It's time for change.
Zimbabweans are working for us in this country. Very good Zimbabweans. They are working in our kitchen, they are everything and so on. Highly educated people. If there's anything that President Mugabe did is to educate his people.
Zimbabweans are working for us, highly educated people. If there's one thing that President Mugabe did for Zimbabweans is to educate his people. This is an ANC MP. Mbulula. So, what did the ANC do for his people? If Mugabe educated his people, what did the ANC do for its people? And you know what is the effect of all these foreigners becoming legal in your country? Is that they will continue to vote for parties that benefit them, not that benefit South Africans. And this is an international issue that the whole world is beginning to realize is becoming a problem.
Ghana for a very long time.
You've been able to acquire for yourself a voter's ID, which I would like to show here. So you have a voter's ID, Don K.O. How did you manage to get for yourself a voter's ID of the Republic of Ghana?
But foreigners are demanding that the government and the police of South Africa do something. Imagine leaving your country with your diseases and your sickness, coming to somebody else's country and demanding that their government and police stand against their own people for your benefit.
On Operation Dudula, we don't have a unit specifically to deal with Dudula.
You know what? I'm going to let Jacinta answer some of these questions that these people are beginning to spread all these lies.
So to respond to Doctors Without Borders on their concern about communicable diseases being spread all over South Africa, and also the issue on xenophobia.
Yo, what's happening, guys? It's your boy Uncle Pete with another episode of Uncle Pete's podcast. Guys, listen, South Africans, this is a very, very serious situation, problem that you find yourself in. Ask yourself this question, okay? Please. Ask yourself this question. Why are foreigners fighting to stay in your country? Question number one. Answer, it is because there is no future or hope in their countries. Because if there was a future or hope in their countries, they wouldn't fight. Today, this is what's happening in South Africa. And this is how some South Africans are responding.
Confirmed, undocumented individuals in South Africa are allowed entry to clinics and classrooms.
Confirmed, undocumented immigrants are allowed in hospitals and classrooms. Guys, can anyone please make that make sense? Undocumented. Meaning you walk into the hospital, you have no form of documentation. They don't know who you are. You're just walking, hi, how are you doing? I'm sick, I need medication. Okay, how's Assisi? Bamba, go. Hard-working taxpayers who are making sure that their country does not become like our countries. That the poorest of their nation still has the ability to have a decent life. Now, let's give it to everybody.
Parliament's chairpersons on health and education say they won't allow undocumented people from being blocked from entering health facilities and schools. They've condemned the actions of Operation Dudula activists who have been preventing suspected foreign nationals from entering hospitals and clinics and threatening to block the administration of children in the new academic year.
We're not going to allow anarchy to coexist with governance.
We are not going to allow anarchy to coexist with governance. Guys, you know what's the weird thing about these people saying these things? Is because they know they will not lose power. You know why they know they will not lose power? It's because there are clever blacks out there that are promoting the existence of illegal foreigners in your country with misinformation. What am I talking about?
Operation Dudula is playing with your life. Chasing away undocumented immigrants from our hospitals and clinics is going to backfire very bad.
Chasing away undocumented immigrants. You even say they are undocumented. So first of all, these people are already illegal. They should be in prison. They should not be in the country. But, okay.
Operation Dudula is manufacturing South Africa's next pandemic, and nobody is stopping them. You don't have to be a genius to see where this is going. When you block people from getting treated for infectious diseases, such as TB, HIV, or COVID, these diseases will spread in your community. These people are not going to leave the country just because you prevented them from accessing our hospitals. They will stay, and a lot of them live right next door to you. So when they...
Pause. So, quick question. Since Operation Dudula, March for March, are creating the next South African biohazard or bio whatever he calls it, when South Africa became an HIV republic, was Operation Dudula March for March around? Were they keeping foreigners from accessing the public hospitals and so forth? Or the reason South Africa became an HIV republic is because South Africa allowed these illegal foreigners to enter into their public hospitals, and that's how South Africa became an HIV republic. When South Africa became a crime republic, when it became the most dangerous country in the world, was Operation Dudula there chasing foreigners? No. They allowed them in their country. And what happened? So, instead of him realizing that the problem is already there, what he is claiming is going to happen is already happened. And now, Operation Dudula and March for March are doing what is necessary in order to stop it from continuing to an extent where tomorrow it will eliminate all South Africans. Guys, look at our countries. We don't have public hospitals. There is no, I'm telling you right now, there is no hospital in Nigeria. Guys, I'm always ready to apologize when I make a mistake, and I always do my research. Ghana has 1,625 government-run public health facilities, which is about 60% of the total healthcare facilities in the country. This figure includes both hospitals and other health facilities operated by the government. Now you understand why Nigerians are influxing that country the way they are. Let's get back to the show. Malawi, Angola, Congo, Zimbabwe, that you will enter for free. Even to get a grandpa for free. Guys, right now, I can walk out of my house down to Bedford View Clinic and get free medication for anything that I am feeling. And if they do not have it, they'll give me a description. I go to a government hospital and get it there. Free. Our countries do not have these things here. So, we come to South Africa with our diseases to get treated. Infect their people in the process. Overcrowd their hospitals to such an extent that even their own people cannot get treatment. But wait, apparently the sickness is still coming. No, Mr. Potato Head, the sickness is already here. The disease and the pandemic that you're claiming that Operation Dudula is creating is already here. What March for March and Operation Dudula are doing are trying to eliminate it from continuing. How is that so hard to understand? But here's a lot to say. Let's listen.
Get sick from a new disease. Guess who's going to catch it next? Our townships are going to become breeding grounds.
When they get sick from a new disease, guess who's going to catch it first? So, you know very well that they will get a new disease and probably will get it from their country. Because South Africa has a system that allows their people to properly be taken care of. So they will take it from their country, bring their new disease here. But wait, instead of us keeping them away, closing the borders, no, let's let them in, let's treat them for the safety of our people because they live next door to us. They have no business living next door to us because they are illegal to begin with. But no, let's not look at that factor. Let's overlook all that. Just let's look at the fact that they are coming with diseases. We need to treat it otherwise. Madam Mr. Potato Head, who educated you? Who raised you? That you had the audacity to pick up your phone, wear these big glasses with your...
for diseases which are resistant to antibiotics. These are illnesses we won't be able to treat with regular medication. The township will be filled with sick, untreated people with contagious diseases. Operation Dudula is...
The townships will be filled with sick, untreated people. Illegal immigrants with sick, illegal immigrants. So, wouldn't the solution to that problem be to get rid of them? Oh no. The solution will be to take hard-working South Africans' money to treat them, and then when they're healthy, have them take employments from South Africans so that South Africans have nothing and they benefit. You know what, man? I'm very convinced that this Mr. Potato Head is the typical example of the culture contamination that I always talk about. These ones that are talking like this, they're the source of Jolofinas. They're the source of kids that are birthed from foreigners and South Africans. These kids have no interest in protecting South Africa for South Africans. Rather protect South Africans for their kind, which is the mixed breeds that are the new gen that are taking over this nation. But here's a lot more to say, so let's continue to listen.
Going to turn the most densely populated places in South Africa into biohazards. The next deadly...
It's going to turn the most densely populated areas in South Africa into biohazards. So he's fully aware that Soweto, Alex, and all these places are fully populated. I remember I did a video where we stated, a guy was saying Alex was supposed to have 75,000 people, but there's currently over 1.2 million people in Alex because of foreigners. So you are aware that foreigners are overly populating your nation, that your resources is no longer able to cater for your people, but yet instead of getting rid of these people, no, let's treat them. Let's take these little resources that we have and let's make sure that they are okay, because their lives matter more than South African lives. Okay.
Disease is not going to come from China. It's going to come from Soweto, Deep Sloot, or Tembisa. Because some of you thought that kicking out sick people from our hospitals was a smart idea. This is not xenophobia anymore. What Operation Dudula is doing should be classified as biological terrorism. So when the next outbreak begins, don't act confused. Don't look for someone to scapegoat. Just look in the mirror and say, thank you, Dudula. You gave us this disease. You wanted to see undocumented immigrants suffer? Well, congratulations. Now we're all going to suffer. And I hope it was worth it.
You wanted to see undocumented immigrants suffer? Congratulations, now we're all going to suffer. You see, guys, I don't think we are that naive. Operation Dudula is trying to get rid of the problem. They're not trying to make foreigners suffer. Keeping them out of the hospitals, all they are saying is, we want our facilities to be for our people. The police, the immigration people were supposed to do their job, which is deport these people, but they are not. You see, because the country is split in half, only one half is doing their part and the other half is not doing their part. The people who are responsible for the things that he's claiming Operation Dudula and March for March are responsible for is the government. It's the immigration officers. It's the police who are refusing to arrest these illegal immigrants and send them back to their countries. But no, let's blame the people who are fighting for the South African rights, who are fighting for the rights of South Africa. Guys, remember, those that are speaking against you are the ones you put in power. It's time for change.
Zimbabweans are working for us in this country. Very good Zimbabweans. They are working in our kitchen, they are everything and so on. Highly educated people. If there's anything that President Mugabe did, is to educate his people.
Zimbabweans are working for us, highly educated people. If there's one thing that President Mugabe did for Zimbabweans is to educate his people. This is an ANC MP. Mbulula. So, what did the ANC do for his people? If Mugabe educated his people, what did the ANC do for its people? Nothing. So, you would rather praise Zimbabwe and what Mugabe did for them, which is educate them. Now I ask you, did you educate your people? No, you didn't. So, he has the audacity to insult South Africans when South Africans put them in power, trusting that they were going to do right by them. They want to influx the schools with foreigners. If Mugabe educated these people, why are they not staying in their country, getting educated and bettering their country? If they are so educated, why are they not utilizing their education to better their countries? But for some reason, their education is only good enough to come and better South Africa. Their education is only good enough to come and be gardeners, to be helpers, to be laborers in South Africa. That's how well their education system is.
The people who are working in your kitchens are doctors. They are more educated than you from Zimbabwe.
The people who are working in your kitchens are more educated than you. They are doctors. Zimbabwe. You know what, now, guys? If you needed any more proof to not vote for certain parties, I think I've given you enough on this channel. The reality is they are speaking the way they are speaking because they know a truth that you guys do not know. I have made a video where they are admitting now that there's over 29 million foreigners in this country, and I can tell you that there's more, because how do you count illegal foreigners? You don't. And they are legalizing these foreigners, guys. 300 chigimas, I keep repeating. And that's only the ones that were found from this lady that did this thing. Guys, there is more of these people. And you know what is the effect of all these foreigners becoming legal in your country? Is that they will continue to vote for parties that benefit them, not that benefit South Africans. And this is an international issue that the whole world is beginning to realize is becoming a problem.
Ghana for a very long time.
You've been able to acquire for yourself a voter's ID, which I would like to show here. So you have a voter's ID, Don K.O. How did you manage to get for yourself a voter's ID of the Republic of Ghana?
Why is this man sitting comfortably? The question is, why is this man sitting comfortably after committing this big crime? And I'm sure with all these ID cards that this Nigerian man has, meaning this Nigerian guy voted. And he's even planning to stand as MP. I'm very sure.
He's even planning to stand as MP. How many Zimbabweans are inside South African government, are MPs in South Africa? Because they are South African citizens. South Africa has already been infiltrated. And not on the surface, but on its core. And guys, if there was any form of hope in our nations, in our countries, we would be fighting for them. There is none. Because there is none, we will fight our lives in this country. And they have proven that they will fight to an extent where they want to eliminate you, the owners of the country, and they want to take over. It's not about integrating with you. This is no longer about we are coming to South Africans to live with South Africans. We come to South Africa to take over South Africa. And this is the reason why they are fighting much for much in Dudula the way they are fighting them, because they can see the effect of their actions. It's becoming evident. And you know the thing is, the law of South Africa, although it protects them, it also screws itself over because there's nothing they can do. They can't just all of a sudden come and do what? Get rid of South Africans. Because there is no system put in place, because Operation Dudula and March on March are not doing anything illegal. But foreigners are demanding that the government and the police of South Africa do something. Imagine leaving your country with your diseases and your sickness, coming to somebody else's country and demanding that their government and police stand against their own people for your benefit.
On Operation Dudula, we don't have a unit specifically to deal with Dudula. We have public order police unit countrywide, and public order police's job is to do crowd management. So wherever there are problems, they do go out and assist. They cannot go and wait at a clinic in case there is a problem. They've got a lot of other works to do. But as and when we have an indication that there will be problem, we will of course respond to those health institutions health institutions where there are problems, but it's not a specific unit to solely deal with that.
They are literally requesting that a specific unit is created to deal with Operation Dudula and what March for March is doing. Imagine you are illegal. You have no right to be in that country. But somehow, some way, you want to be protected. You know what? I'm going to let Jacinta answer some of these questions that these people are beginning to spread all these lies.
So to respond to Doctors Without Borders on their concern about communicable diseases being spread all over South Africa, and also the issue on xenophobia, in light of what our constitution says, illegal immigrants are not even supposed to be in the country. They're supposed to be taken and deported, first of all. But in the instance that they need primarily emergency healthcare, they are welcome to access that emergency healthcare. But from there, they are meant to be deported and leave out of the country. They're not supposed to be on lists for chronic medication and surgeries and etc., and getting free medical treatment month after month and having 7, 8, 9, 10 babies in the country. That is not what the Constitution says.
Now, tell me something. What has this lady uttered out of her mouth that is wrong? What has this lady uttered out of her mouth that is wrong? Imagine you are illegal in somebody's countries. You are having children in those countries. You're expecting those children to be documented. You're expecting those children to be educated. You're expecting those children to have a future in a country that is not yours. And all those people are asking you is, if you want to be part of us and you want to integrate yourself in our society, do so the right way. Learn our ways. Do it the right way. But no, that is a problem. That is wrong.
And then automatically, let's be honest with each other. Whenever they say foreigners must go, we Zimbabweans, we are the one who start to speak against South African. Now we're going Norway. Malawans, you pass as if they're not here. Nigerians and Zimbabweans are two foreigners in South Africa which speak back to South Africans. And we have seen this in Zimbabwe. We used to have foreigners in Zimbabwe. Maybe you were young or you're not born yet. How Zimbabwe treated other foreigners. We used to give them.
Listen, how Zimbabweans treated other foreigners. Listen, you see the problem with these clever blacks, Mr. Potato Head. All these clever blacks that like to defend foreigners. Your problem is, besides knowing not knowing your own history and knowing the consequences of what foreigners are doing in your country, you don't know the history of their countries. You don't know the history of Angola. Thank God a lot of South Africans know how Angola fought for South Africa. And that's the reason why we are brothers and sisters. But you do not know how Zimbabweans treated you. I've done videos proving what they did to your comrades during apartheid. How Mugabe said, we're not going to help you. This is not your home. How Mugabe sold you guys to the apartheid government. But you know what? I will let them expose themselves.
Names. Yeah, and Maganda, Mazanda, and then we make fun of the languages. It's a repetition of what happened to us. You understand? But as we are claiming that we are educated, why are we failing to use our education to solve the problem that we have today in our country? I always urge Zimbabweans with how we pray, how we're educated. Let's come and use those skills and energies and spirit to build our country for the sake of peace and to show the whole Africa that Zimbabwe can be a better country through us.
Okay. Guys, how many times have I said this? If you're that educated, if your prayers are that strong, why are you not fixing your country? So your education and your prayers can only fix South Africa? No. You see, the problem is, it is easy to take a well-oiled engine and run it. It is easy to take something that is already done. If I took this clothes and I give you material, and I give you a needle, and I gave you threads, and I told you to stitch these t-shirts, you may fail. But if I give you the t-shirt pre-stitched, you put it on, you go out, it is already sorted. The problem with many people is they want finished products. If I give you this phone and I split it into 1,000 pieces, which it is, I split it and I give it to you as a gift. I say I bought you a Samsung. You will not be grateful. You'll be like, what the hell is this? But if I give it to you complete, is that South Africa is a complete nation. We laugh at South Africa that they found a way to live with the white man for the sake of their nation, for the sake of having a functioning nation, because they saw how mumukik, that's a new word I've just come up with from the word mumu, how mumukik we are and were with our nations. We chased the white man away, we chased the Indian, we chased whoever we could possibly chase. And now we are seeing flames in our countries. Which nation are we running to? We run into the nation that has white people we claim that we do not need. A nation that has resources, that has found a way to work together. Guys, South Africans, you are under attack. And the truth and the unfortunate reality is the attack is not only from foreigners, it's also from within. Because these foreigners made enough babies that these babies are now South Africans. And they will continue to vote for parties that will benefit them. And these parties are clearly speaking and letting you guys know that you are not smart, you are stupid. Because they know they've already allowed enough foreigners into the country that when elections come, they will always keep winning. South Africans need to unite. Because I tell you right now, the direction in which this country is going, in the next 5 to 10 years, Shona and all these foreign things. I know when I went to school, there was French and Portuguese as an option. Mandarin and all these languages will become a thing. Go to our countries, our children no longer speak our cultural languages. There is no schools that are teaching our cultural languages because we've been infiltrated by foreigners to such an extent that our colonial language is the only language being spoken. They want to cripple South Africa the same way they crippled our nations. These fights it's a very serious fight. If you have ears, you listen. Guys, stop sitting in your house. It's time to start taking action. Vote accordingly. If you do not know who to vote for, I definitely know you know who not to vote for. I'm your boy Uncle P, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Cheers.
Also, when looking at the way that things are, you can't look at them in isolation because illegal immigrants come into the country. Some are here stealing medication and taking it to their countries and starting a business. Some people even in other countries have started a business of bringing people in South Africa to give birth or to access medication or whatever because it's apparently free. And it's not free because it's compromising the lives of South Africans who have no other country to go to and have only South Africa and have to access that medication from here and therefore end up having to sleep on the floor because they can't find beds in hospitals. They have to wait in queues or have to take their own money and buy from pharmacies medication that they should be accessing for free. So when we're looking at this problem of illegal immigrants, I would really ask and plead with them to look at it in a holistic manner instead of looking at it from one side of pity. We're not running a country on emotions. We're running on a country for the well-being of the country and the well-being of the people of that country. And the people of South Africa can no longer survive having to share medications, their resources with the whole of Africa. The Constitution says that South Africans are able to access free medical health care or whatever medical health care with its available resources. And we no longer have resources available to take care of the whole continent. Therefore, Doctors Without Borders, if they want to help the people of Africa, they must go and help them in their individual countries and treat them from there from all kinds of communicable diseases. And also, if they worried so much about communicable diseases, then how are they the ones who are not saying anything about the scourge of people crossing our borders every single time to come into the country with diseases that we don't even know if our doctors are able to treat, and also communicating languages that our doctors don't even understand, even the nurses, but they're still expected to treat these people? If they really are concerned about these diseases, then shouldn't our lives as South Africans also be a part of their concern? Or is it only a concern when it's people from outside of the borders that need to access the healthcare? We have people coming in from all parts of Africa. Nobody knows their medical history, but we've never heard Doctors Without Borders calling them out and saying, no, South Africans need to be safe from communicable diseases from people whose medical record and history and diseases that they don't know. So it's a bit unfair of them to expect us to have the ability to take care of everyone who's got all kinds of sicknesses. If really they need healthcare, private hospitals are always open. So they are always welcome to go to private doctors and access those facilities as well. But also in the whole naming of what we're doing as xenophobia, it's quite saddening and disheartening that there are people who keep on pushing this notion of xenophobia when they're not the ones who have to go and see their grandparents lying on the floor because they don't have access to medical health care, because there's a queue of illegal immigrants that we don't know who are coming to access our health facilities. We also have a number of women giving birth on the floor, people dying because they're unable to get to the doctor because the queues are so long. Where do they expect us to be able to have the resources, the money and the facilities to take care of the whole of Africa? If they're trying to solve the problem, then they should look at it from all sides and all angles. Don't look at it from the angle where you feel like it mostly will make you sound and look good. There are South Africans who have died because they're not able to access chronic medication because apparently it's run out, or they are on the list for all kinds of treatments but are not able to see the doctors in time for their lives to be saved because we're trying to save the whole of Africa. We can't go on like this. South Africa does not have enough resources to take care of Africa. And if Doctors Without Borders is concerned about the whole of Africa, then treat the whole of Africa in their individual countries. They don't all have to come to South Africa for that. We don't have the space. We also need those resources as much as they do. And for any country to survive, it needs to be a country that prioritizes its citizens and makes sure that they are taken care of as well as their well-being. So that is my response, and I hope that they come up with a solution that's going to work for other African countries to be able to have access to medical health care without bringing South Africa into the mix.